Don't blink if you're buying. Welcome to the Terry Show. Considering we're also having a wonderful day on this very early um, 18th, which is natural. Yeah, 18th September 2025. Holy shit, the phone is too hot once more. You're losing some precious sunlight. You know, when the time is dire, you have to do as dire time requires. Um, it is the 18th September 2025. We finished about 2 hours ago. Slept a little bit, but knew there was gonna be an amazing sunrise because, of course, because of the cloud. So because of the cloud, we got sometimes some beautiful coloring. If you guys remember the sunset yesterday, it was mainly because of that. So I want to come on here and do a little bit of morning talk. As you can see, not super tired because we didn't go to sleep. What you call it? We didn't reach deep sleep. We're kind of napping more than sleeping. Zdrovia. Now this today is peanut butter and a steamed bun bunch. We have a course of you're too hot. Alright, energy drink. White peach Zoa. I'm in a good mood then. I even had time to watch the old episode of The Good Place. Which is not as good as I remember, to be honest, but still pretty good. Zdrovia. Very good. It's weird how sometimes you're tired and sometimes you should be tired but you're not. Today we're talking about change. Oh, there you go. It's a nice look at this. A very nice sunrise. Talking about changes and positive changes, to be honest. You know, it's such a weird concept. Of course, this is not planned. So this is working overtime, but it's pretty easy. I mean, look at last year, right? I have never worked in my life as hard as I did last year. Put up butter. That's the way to go. And the steamed bun. It's amazing. The tower. So we worked as we worked much harder last year than we ever were before. But when you truly look at it, right? What did change? Well, the constant change, we matured, we voiced our opinion, we became much more confident in life, right? And we were talking about that with the person yesterday. She was saying like, well, I would like to do a psychological profile on you because it's gonna help me find a field for you to study in. Now she was saying, what are your steps to find like a course or a job? And I was saying, like, you know what? I have to go with a list of pros and cons. I think it's something that works since the dawn of time. I think it's a proven system. And I think, if anything, it's a pretty good idea. And then there's a crazy thing. It's like, yeah, that's a good idea. And then we did a profile. We're starting to do a profile, right? And she was talking to me about how important it is. And then before she even said it, I realized what she meant. She was meaning that we do have a list. We do have a list of pros and cons, right? It's gonna be a very cool video this morning. Good mood, good food, good nudes. I'm seeing somebody, so she's out of my league. Out of my league. Not bad. Even if I have this, it's just the pros and cons. It doesn't mean that I'm the right person for the right job, you know? I'm gonna have a whole list of pros and cons, but this touches you. Doesn't touch the company, doesn't touch the other employees, doesn't touch the boss, it touches you. Now, last job that we had was a small company. We were still 14 guys, which means we were about 10%. Yeah, 10%. Holy shit. This works like a... Still works pretty good. We're 7% of the company. And because we were 7% of the company, our opinion mattered within the company. Now there's people that are more vocal, so their opinion matters most. There are people that are directly speaking that are more important. Boss, as manager, cat in the department, right? So again, your opinion is a sign of how many people respect you. If nobody respects you, nobody will listen to you. Even if you're right, nobody will listen to you. My apologies, disgusting. And if people listen to you, even if you're not right, people will listen to you. So it's kind of important because it is as a matter of how much your voice is, right? So even though we did so much change last year, how much was pertinent? How much was really helpful? So for example, last year I was left unopposed, and this is where it all goes down. I was left unopposed in a sense of whatever I did, nobody was saying, dude, this is wrong, or dude, don't do that, or dude, hey, think about it, right? Nobody was saying that. And I'm not asking people to do it because, again, it's a self-reflection journey. Something that is wrong should feel wrong. We're watching The Good Place, and that's what they're talking about also. Something that feels wrong is wrong, right? Your body will tell you, your morale, your soul, which is kind of cool. You got your brain, which will tell you, hey, this answer is wrong, right? You got your body that said, hey, don't touch this, you're gonna hurt yourself, right? And your soul will say, don't do this because this is wrong. Which is kind of beautiful when you think about it, right? So then you have your moral, you have your values, right? You have how you perceive life, and this is really cool, right? So then what's gonna happen in this case is kind of insane because last year we had more changes. When I talk about how content creation changed me, last year was the year where there was the most changes. But what does it imply? I have more voice. Okay, cool. Voice doesn't mean respect. Respect means getting heard. Even though if you have a voice, it doesn't mean that you get heard. I could be telling you, dude, there's gonna be an apocalypse in 2 years, and nobody will believe me, right? No. Is it true? No, it's not true. Okay, it's not true. If there was an apocalypse, we'll see sign already. A virus, whatever, and very close to the Bible actually. It's weird because lately I've been really into spirituality, and I don't know why. It's a good thing, don't get me wrong, but like, where's it coming from? Ooh, health regen times 3. I'm at level 3 of health regen. That is huge, baby. That is huge. That is huge. Wow. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Game. See? Still ADHD. Don't worry about it. Your boy's changing, but not changing as much. So all of that change, if it's not perceived, right, doesn't mean shit. However, it does mean shit because you're changing for who? You're changing for people, you're changing for yourself, right? Huh? Huh? However, what does it mean, right? You can train your whole life to play basketball. You can train your whole life to play hockey. It doesn't mean you're gonna be a hockey player or a I would say firefighter, but basketball and a hockey player. It doesn't mean that. I'm Canadian, so of course hockey holds a big place in my heart. Oh, Saint, can you see by the dawn early light? No, wrong anthem. This is the American anthem. Something like Oh Canada, something like that. Something better. So yeah, so you see the changes, but it doesn't apply to you because you don't even care if you change, right? Your life possibly will be better if you change, but it will also possibly be worse. When I say I was left unopposed last year, this is what I mean. I was moving forward. I was moving in a direction that is possibly good and possibly wrong. I'm gonna tell you a secret, okay? Come, let me tell you a secret. After a year, right? After a year, I still don't know if what I did last year was positive or negative. Chances are I will never know. I will never know. Did it change the very core of my being? No, because there was already some seeds. Did we put what should we call it? Engrais in English. Engrais. I'm gonna have to do the trusty Google. Engrais in English. Engrais in English. Fertilizer. Oh. We put some fertilizer, we watered the plant, and these seeds that was previously there did grow a lot. But I'm 5'4", so they grew possibly half an inch. See, joking is the best possible example you can have, right? The more you joke, the more your sense of humor will change, right? Can we agree on that? Cool. Your sense of humor change, right? And your sense of humor change in multiple ways. The first way is, well, you know, I find out that I like this kind of humor, right? I say, well, you know what? I prefer making a joke less obvious than obvious because you joke and you learn about joking, right? And your sense of humor. Chances are, your sense of humor is the chance. Chances are, the chance of the sense of humor that you have is going to be the sense of humor that you prefer listening to, right? You're inspired by comedian. You're inspired by joke itself, so you change, right? It doesn't mean a joke can be extremely funny for you, but can be meaningless to somebody else. Change can be extremely meaningful to you, but meaningless to somebody else, right? And even then, if I change, I don't have the tools to really like to partake in it. For example, I was making a video last year, and I have a community which is I'm very grateful for. You guys are amazing. You guys have shown up time and time again. You guys are amazing. I connected with a girl. The girl I'm seeing right now, connected with a girl about I think it was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be an asshole. I think it was 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago, and this girl, she's been following me, and we've been talking here and there for 3 years, right? 3 years, and now we're connected on a more deeply level, which is really cool. And again, out of my league completely. But at the same time, a lot of my videos are gonna be like, for example, this video, right? I know from the get-go that I'm gonna do a long video, and I know from the get-go that nobody will care, and nobody will watch the whole thing, which is normal, right? Because nobody wants to hear a guy at 6:33 a.m. rambling about changes, right? Much less a guy that rambles, got ADHD, go from A to E to C to B to V, you know? It's all a question of, how can I say that? It's all a question of, it is also a weird thing with social media. I could be talking about penises, right? I could be doing the same videos about penises, the length, the girth, the head of the penis, and if I had 1 million followers, I would get views no matter what. If I don't have videos, if I don't have followers, well, no matter how great my penis video is, it will not be watched, right? So nobody cares, and this is fine also, right? Because this video is an increment of changes, right? I could have done this exact same video a year ago, and have a completely different discourse, right? Now, again, this is a cool thing. Is the discourse better than last year or this year? This year or last year? Look at the sunrise. It is gorgeous. It is magnificent. And the answer is I don't know. The answer is I don't know. See, this video today is about changes, right? And it's nuts because right now, if you look at our life right now, it's completely changed. We do have a job, and again, it's not phenomenal. It's not normal that I come back home from work today. I slept for 2 hours, maybe more, I don't know. I came back home, it was 3:15. We woke up at 5:40 something. Yeah, 2 hours. And I'm not tired, right? It's not normal. No. Is my body tired? Yes, my body is tired. It's kind of hard physically. But that's because I'm obese. But mentally, we're not challenged, right? So, I come in, and this is the ADHD also. People think about chaotic energy, but the chaotic energy can start from here. Your body is just a tool for your brain to use. And your body being a tool for the brain to use, as much as there's a user of tools or a need for tools, the tool will be used, right? Which is kind of cool. And it's, wow, look at this. So what's going on right now, kind of super cool. So before, way before, I'm going to say 20 minutes ago, right? The sun was behind the clouds, right? Then the clouds gradually disappeared. And now the sun is strong enough to go up and down the clouds. So the clouds have a very nice shades, which is happy. I'm happy that I woke up for this. And it's nuts because this change, I want to say I changed for me. The reality, yes, I didn't change for me. I changed for you guys because I wanted to be the best possible way. You know, I knew, okay. I knew I didn't have much to offer, so I changed to offer the most as possible. Pretty much it. So is this a good change or not? It's a bad change because your reason for changing wasn't genuine. If I spew a message of like me the way I am, otherwise I don't care, which is very wrong as a message. People shouldn't be obligated to have to love you the way you are because you know what, I like this about this guy, I like this about this guy, but this about this guy I do not like. I don't like at all. I don't like how fast he's talking. I don't like that he doesn't shave his neck beard. I don't like that, right? And my answer to that is, oh well, you know. But you shouldn't fall head over heel over somebody for all of their flaws. However, if you're willing to accept the flaws, this is pretty good, right? However, if you're willing to accept the flaws, I didn't have to change in the first place because you're willing to accept the flaws. Do you understand? Listen again. This is important. If people like you for your flaw, then you don't have to change because they like the flaws. But then, if they like the flaw, is it a reason for you to stay in your circle? Stay in your circle of I'm not moving forward and improving, but I'm not going backward and digressing. I'm staying in this circle where I'm circling around the same person that I am, right? And this is the craziest thing, right? Because this circle contains everything that I ever need. It contains me, right? It contains small problem, right? It contains a solution, and then it contains me, right? However, what we're looking for is a square. Me, problem, solution. You know what the last one, the growth of the square is, right? Growth. I've learned this from this mistake, so I will not do it again. If I do it again, I will take care of it because I know how to think. So this is a square, right? And a square could include growth, right? But in the square, how much is one corner? Which is that corner is growth. It's still 25%, right? And right now what we're doing is at 25%. We're working on the 25%, right? Because we're working on that 25%, we have somewhat of a growth. We have somewhat of a way forward. There's less changes because I'm not working as hard on changes. But there's still, if you look at my life right now, job. It's not complex, but it's a job, right? And it pays the bills. Truth is, it doesn't pay the bills, but hey, it's something. And hopefully, if I'm a good boy, I'll be getting the good boy treatment, which is more hours, a better position in a company. Good boy treatment, right? Right now, I'm the runt of the liver, and get the shitty job and the shitty hours. But hey, it is something, right? If you look at changes, we've been meeting with a person from the government who's helping us build a better CV, apply for better, right? I do have a job right now, but it doesn't stop me from getting a job later on, right? Also, we met another person yesterday, and then she was gonna tell me, okay, well, if you want to run a course, we'll help you out, and she gave me some information yesterday, which is kind of pretty cool about schooling, right? I might be going back to school, guys. I might be going back to school. I think I'm gonna go back to school, to be honest. So I think this is a good position because it's changes, right? But technically speaking, we started changing 2 months ago because we started seeing the person 2 months ago, right? Which is stupid because I refuse to believe that we haven't improved before 2 months ago. But then again, it goes to show if nobody noticed the change, do you truly change? And this is also cool because there's two ways to see this. Nobody noticed the change, so the change wasn't important enough to be noticed, or it wasn't big enough to be noticed, or nobody cares about you changing. Now, the reality is, if nobody cares about you changing, and you question if you're supposed to change or you change more, then the change might not be enough for yourself, right? A classic people pleaser, right? Somebody didn't like me wearing red, so I'm not gonna wear red, right? I changed my whole way of dressing for this person. Now, does changing the way you dress changes your personality? It does. It does. Because you didn't really change your wardrobe, right? You didn't stop wearing red. You stop wearing red when you're about with that person, which show that submissiveness. It show that you're willing to make a compromise. It's showing that you looking to please the people by doing something that will please them, right? And there's a couple of questions there. Are they willing to do the same thing for you? No, they're not willing to change for you, right? Does it make your change meaningless? No, because you made the effort to be a better person for them, right? The Good Place, morally speaking, and I watched 3 episodes, so I'm not here to show you like, oh my god, my life was changed by The Good Place, but it raises some question, which is good. If you want to watch the Good Place, hurry up. It's leaving Netflix 26th of September, which is in 9 days. Because today counts, the 26th counts, so that's 9 days. Quick math. Because the change is meaningless to other people, because they won't change for you. Do you care? No, because you did something good. Changing your wardrobe to please them was something good, right? Should you do that for everybody? No. You shouldn't do that for everybody. Should you do that always? No. There has to be some concession. There has to be rewards for the sacrifices you do. Otherwise, for example, when I had my bully at work, right? I can safely say that was my fault. I allowed him to talk to me like shit in the beginning. So I couldn't come in and say, hey, okay, so this is also important for changes. I could come in and say, hey, I don't want you to talk to me like shit anymore, because you allowed me before what changed, right? So you have to endure it, right? But then because you endure it, it kept going further and further and further and further, testing your limits, right? And in the normal world, people will not test your limits. In the normal world, shitty people like that don't exist. But hey, you know what? Life will put situation. The universe will put situation in your life to improve or digress your life once again. What if the bully, right? And this is where I'm gonna lose everybody's attention here. Okay. What if the bully was put by the universe in my life to provoke change? What if it was a test from life itself? What if it was a fate meeting? Like, hey, this is a fate meeting, and if you do change, you're gonna get something good. If you don't change, well, guess what? But we understand that we need a cataclysm to provoke the change, so we'll put a shitty person in your life, right? And this person, right? Your girlfriend, your boyfriend, who cheated on you, right? You thought it was gonna be a wedding, right? You thought it was gonna be the person for the rest of your life, and they cheat on you. And then you break up with them, right? And then the next couple of people, even though they did nothing to you, you're still pissed off about this one person cheating on you. So like, you know what? Fuck you. My ex cheated on me. And it doesn't matter if they tell you, well, I'm not your ex, I didn't do nothing to you. It doesn't matter. Cheating is cheating and you're a victim, right? But if somebody cheats on you, right? If somebody cheats on you, does it make you think that you need to change? No. They're the assholes, right? Now, maybe you were not sexual enough for them. Maybe you weren't what they were looking for. They stayed with you, which is weird, right? And the next person, you treat them like shit, right? But what if, right? This person cheats on you, right? Which means the next boyfriend or girlfriend or they them, I don't know what you call it, they them, right? My partner, I think that's the correct terminology, whatever. Your partner then suffer from this person injustice towards you, right? And then you realize I'm a shitty person because I made somebody pay that had nothing to say. I think in French they reproche to feel guilty about, right? So because I treated the person like shit, the second person like shit, I feel bad. So we need to balance it out, right? We need to balance it out, right? The third person, I'm gonna treat so nicely because I don't want to put their feeling aside because my ex cheated, right? I'm gonna treat them way nicer than I treated the person before. I'm gonna be way more understanding of their needs than I did before because I do care and I don't want to be an asshole, right? So this change in me, right? But I'm still not gonna allow people to cheat on me, and I'm still gonna be on my guard, right? So you're meeting this kind of middle, right? And then the hurt that you suffered was worth it because you learned a lesson from it. But it also means that this is the important part, that the fact that you made somebody else suffer was worth it because you did change from it. However, if the price for you improving your life is somebody suffering, is it worth it, right? And not every single change is good. There's gonna be changes that's not good, right? People that are broke. I had this mentality of being broke because I grew up thinking we were broke. When I went to the apartment, I was broke. A lot of my life was broke. I'm broke right now, so I started to be really worried about cash rates. At 21 years old, 22 years old, I was really worried about cash. I used to cry to my father. Oh my God, this is a sad story. I got two stories for that. I used to get to my father and say, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm costing you so much." Because I didn't understand money, and I was told like, "Yo, money is important. You're costing a lot of money," which is something that you shouldn't say to your son. But hey, my father did. I was almost dead, but we survived somehow, and we healed right away, which is insane. Next, I went to the Dollarama. This is a true story. I was 11 or 12, and you know what? I have this job mowing lawn, right? I make a little money, right? I go to the Dollarama, and I buy, and I remember all of this. I bought my favorite candy bar, which was, I don't remember the candy bar. It wasn't Butterfinger. It was something like Butterfinger though. It was a chocolate and you had a very hard interior. I don't remember the name of the chocolate bar. Of course I'm not gonna find it. Canadian chocolate bars. Holy shit. I can't believe it. It's the second one. Chocolate and a soft and a hard interior. Wow. See, this is the universe telling me something. Eat more chocolate. Thank you, universe. I will. So we go and buy one bar, right? Maybe I buy two, I don't remember. And I remember I gave it $5. And I remember saying, "Hey, keep the change." And the cashier, she's like, you didn't need, we don't need the change. We're doing okay. I'm like, yeah, but look at the prices you're selling your stuff at. You must be losing money. I literally thought that. Now to give the little I had to help a corporation, but the intention is helping, right? You know, I was very worried about cash, right? So then, even when I start making good money, I wouldn't spend at all. For example, I would wait for the specials. I would wait until we did something, right? My first big buy was a PS4, which was in 2013. I came into the apartment in 2012. And then I hit the pandemic. In the pandemic, something changed in my behavior. I was getting a lot of money for not working. So I was like, you know what? I'm getting way more money than I am working, so let's spend a lot more money. So I started going on Amazon, and then I become a shopaholic. We're shopping every single day. And then there's no ending, right? And last year, We did the same thing. We shop. I made $17,000. This is a lot of information, but fuck it. I made $17,000 from the government, from unemployment. I had 12,000 in the bank already. In 1 year, we spent $29,000 on rent, shit like that, but also on shit that was not important, right? So because I was treated as broke, I thought as a broke person, I was like, you know what? Time for luxury. I don't know when the next time I'm not gonna have money, so let's use it, right? And this is a core changes that stem from trauma as a kid, right? Trauma stem as a kid. So for example, somebody that's oh my god, I'm part of a kink community, right? And in the kink community, there's a lot of women, most of all, women that have been R word, so grape, right? So most of these people, they have a kink of reliving the instance. Now, psychologically speaking, reliving the instance is an excuse not to heal from the thing. So a traumatic event happened to me when I was younger. I'm gonna continue to repeat that incident, so I don't have to change, right? And I don't have to forgive the person. I don't have to evolve from it. I'm reliving it, so I have an excuse to be still hurt by it, right? But this is the kink that they have, right? And it's a psychological thing more than a physical thing, right? But normally a kink is a physical thing. You have a bodily reaction of need, of famishness, of you're hungry for something that they do, right? And this is a response that should invoke a change because it's a traumatic event. Traumatic event, just like burning yourself as a kid, should create a response of, I don't want to burn myself again because it hurts, right? However, some people, they don't process the information like other people. But all of that to say that the change is mostly created, right? And then if you look at the change last year, what created the change last year, right? The change last year was for a very selfish reason. I want to make it as a content creator. So the change that we had last year was like, okay, well, you have this year to work, you have this year to make community, you have this year to make this a job, this year to make this a possible living situation where you pay your bill, you have enough to feed yourself, right? You're not rich, but you're not broke, right? And it didn't work. So all that change could be seen meaningless because the prospect at the end wasn't achieved, right? Now the change that we faced last year, recently, which is finding a job, finding some help, professional help, to be a better employees. I'm 32 years old, and I have never asked myself the question how. And this is a true story. I wish I was joking, but I couldn't be more honest. I'm 32 years old, and I have never asked myself the question, what can I do to become a better employee? Why? Because I don't give a fuck. Is that a correct answer? No. Is that the truth? Yes. Is it morally wrong? Possibly. But at least it's honest. That's the truth, right? That is my truth. I don't care. But then I realized that, okay, well, you're asking the world out of people. You're asking them to fetch the moon, but you're not even willing to fetch something that's 2 streets away. So you have to meet them somewhere. You have to do compromises, right? A work is like a relationship, and you realize that. Now, truthfully, what happened is, I last year didn't want to work because I said, whatever you do, you want to find a company that's as good as the one that you had, which is the job that we had for 8 years, right? It's like this relationship. I needed a rebound, but I was like, you know what? If I have a rebound, this is disrespectful to my ex, but also this will take away from the memory that we have, right? So I'd rather be involved in there. And that was like last year, and there was this almost base idea of I am guaranteed to make it because there's no way that I worked this hard, that I put in this much effort, that I sacrifice sleep, blood, sweat, and tears, and there's no reward, right? It's always a system of risk versus reward. I risk my mental, physical health, right? And there's no reward, right? I couldn't conceive this idea, but it happened. So then you start wanting to get a job because you're like, okay, well, the banks is empty and I need a job. And this is the truth. Am I still holding on hope that content creation will work? Yes, I am. But now that I understand, it might take another 2, 3 years, another 5 years, right? And now this is the worst thing possible. This idea that I have right now, and this is the truth, I'm coming in clean, right? The idea that I have right now is I'm gonna find a job and I'm gonna be happy for the next 5, 6 years, right? But if I find a job that I'm gonna be happy for the next 5, 6 years, I want to be a good job. I want to be a job that has promises because I'm gonna be working there for so long. And I'm gonna be working there for so long, I want to be comfortable, right? And now there's a more of an open mindedness. I'm like, what if I love the job so much that even though content creation was a plus, I could still do this, right? And I'll tell you that I don't know. I don't know. But then, and this is super insane because I remember this summer, and it wasn't even this summer. It was I want to say it was I want to say it was June. Yeah, it was June or August, one of the two of them, because it was a moment where they hired a lot of people. I felt bad about hiring. I felt bad about asking for help for a job, right? Because I felt like I was begging people for help. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give you my time, my precious time. I'm gonna give you my energy, precious energy. I'm gonna give you all my brain power for a salary. I'm groveling and I'm begging for help. Please, kind sir, help this poor soul. And I felt bad about that because I'm like, first of all, I have pride. Second of all, what I'm doing is great. Third of all, what I'm doing is what I want to do in life, right? So why would I change? But then, at the same time, right now, the mentality is completely different. It's a compromise. Okay, so I want this, and here what I have to offer. Basic trade-off services. You need employees. I need a job. You need employees. I need employment. And because it's just passing of a trade, it doesn't have to be leveraged. It can be equal, right? I don't come into work, I don't get paid, right? And this is the nuts parts. Because where I was wrong, and this is stupid habits. My apologies. Where I was wrong was the reason why I was so feeling like it was a leverage, a relationship of power, where the employers has total power over my decision, because I was very, professionally speaking, submissive. I was really like, oh, you need something? You need overtime? I got you. I got you. Whatever you need, I'll do it. Right? Whatever you need, I'll do it. You need this and this and this? Okay, I'll do it. No problem. But this is the problem also, right? Because I'm so... Oh, shit, I'm gonna die here. No, I'm gonna upgrade my shit, and then I'm gonna die. Come on. The vampire. Always the vampire is gonna kill me. Always the vampire. Dead. A horrible death, too. A horrible death. I love that no matter what, I'm gonna die from the same enemy. You know what? I got 306 left. There you go. So, the reality of it is, because the last time that I had a new job, I was 26. Now, this is insane because I just told you that I work, which means that I have a new job because I wasn't working before. So why are we treating this as a job? Well, super simple. I'm not treating this as a job because it isn't a job. A job to me is a sort of 9 to 5. Is a sort of 9 to 5. Is a day in, day out. You come in the morning and then you go back home, and you know the next morning you're working, right? A job is something that, you start on Monday. Like, oh, it was nice this weekend, right? And this is not a job because I work 3 days a week. First of all, I work 6 hours a day. Second of all, so this is in French we call it une jobine, which is like a summer job or a small job. Student job also is a good term for that. Student job. I better check out something. Ooh, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Okay, we're still uploading. Good. Good, 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 good. And also, and my mom was pissed at me for saying that, but this is honest, right? But I do understand where she's coming from also. Do I see myself working this job for a long period of time? Yes and no. The reason I'm saying yes is because if I change shift, maybe go to the day shift, if I change schedule, why the day shift? Well, because in the winter I'm fucked. There's no buses. And I can't take my bike. And it's too far for me to walk. So the reality is, and I don't drive, so the reality is I'm kind of a slave to my own situation, right? And in the situation, it's only available during the summer, so this is not possible. Also, I'm saying yes because if I was doing a 40 hours, see, a job should be paying your bills, but if it's not paying your bills, are you truly working? If you're working a job and you're not able to pay your bills, there's two possibilities. Either you're paying too much, or you're buying too much stuff, or either you're not getting paid enough. There's a problem somewhere. So, I mean, this is not a job. This is an in between, right? This is why I'm saying this. The last time that I truly found a job was 10 years ago. I was 20. No, I was less than that. I was 24, right? So that's 8 years ago. It was 2018. I was 25. Yeah. I don't know why. It felt like much more than that. Well, I know why. Because when you're doing something that you love, well, last year spent like that. Versus those last 8 years that spent so slow. And I was a very different person than I was at 24. I am a very different person than I was at 24. I changed a lot, right? Now, at the same time, was I willing to work as hard at the end of the employment and at the beginning of the employment? Well, it's a very complex situation. When I started the company, I was a agency worker. Agency worker, your goal is a temporary agency is to get hired, right? That's your goal. So you're gonna be putting in the effort, and then this effort became normal because you're doing the same thing every single day. So this, which used to be a lot, becomes normal because, like, hey, I've been doing this for a whole last year before I get hired. So I'm pretty used to the amount of work that we have, right? And that's pretty much it. But now there's a problem for the next gig, for the next job, next gig. And the problem for the next gig is, am I gonna come in with the backward mentality of I want to do this, and this? And the answer is I don't know. I might be working and like, yo, next laptop that I had, we could do this. Yeah, but laptop that you had doesn't even apply to this job. It's a completely different entity, right? And then at the same time, I'm like, okay, so this is actually a really good point. You're willing to change, right? Currently in life, I'm an agency worker, right? I want to get hired by life. I want to get hired. So to get hired, I'm willing to make more changes, right? So if there's a change to be have is when there's still something to gain, which is life itself. If I had life or if I had stability in life, would I be willing to put in as much work? No. You know why? Very simple. It's very simple. I wouldn't be as willing to change because I'm in a position where I got the job. There's a lot of people that will go into a relationship and the person will be, I don't understand, when we started dating, you were so much more romantic. Yeah, I was trying to seduce you. I have you now, you know? There's a really cool saying from the douchebags. They're saying, and this is totally wrong to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. And I think it's a great saying because it's true. Once a person give up sex or give up the relationship, so that you're dating them, they give up the whole power because when you were first trying to seduce a person, you were after something. Maybe it was after sex, or maybe it was after a relationship. Once you got that, you don't need to hunt anymore, right? You don't need to hunt anymore. This is the part of life. Right now, we're trying to change because there's change. We feel that we need to change. And the feel that we need to change is based on failure. So the more we fail, see, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting the same result, right? I'm insane, so I don't care. But at the same time, people will see this and like, this guy is stupid. He's making the same mistake all the time. And this I care about. This I care about. Because I'm not dumb. I hope I'm not dumb. I know I'm not dumb. Thank you for agreeing with me. It means a lot. So all in all, I'm changing because I'm like, okay, well, if this doesn't work, maybe I should try another approach, right? And you're trying another approach, and then you have success or you have unsuccess. And if you have failure or unsuccess from the French language, back to the drawing board. Okay, what did change? What can I improve? What should I work on? Etc. This is where you're either wrong or you're right. There's no good answer here. There's no good answer. The only answer that is possible is you're either moving forward or moving backward. And in 46 minutes, we said the same thing. We started this video with what? We started this video with, I don't know if the change that I did last year was positive or negative. Did I move forward or did I move backward? But this is life. This is life. You don't know what you get until you lose it. And you don't know what to expect until you get it. Right? The biggest thing about life, the thing that I truly believe, is once you're too old to understand... my apologies. Once you're too old to enjoy life, that's what you understand life. My parents understand life. Are they too old to enjoy it? My apologies. I don't know. What I do know is I love you guys. Take it easy. I'll see you guys really soon. Let's see, really soon. I'm talking about a couple seconds, but hey, you don't need to know that because the video is ending now. So thank you so much for watching. Love ya. Take it easy. Peace.